Thank you very much. Look, I've been pitted against IT people, some of those beautiful IT girls with the microphone plugged on, so I can climb up and down the screen just to help with this presentation for Anglo. Thank you very much. We've just, I must say, there's no technical people available to Anglo. 6 of them, plus an engineer. They're fully committed on site with drill rigs results flowing in. So I'm a little rusty, but as you know, Anglo has been around for a while, and the usual disclaimer, don't take much notice of that. You can see, no time just to talk about 2 projects. There's one being Fayetteville. It's Think Big is the thing, nothing to do with BHP, don't get hooked on that. Think Big won the Melbourne Cup 2 years in a row. We used that name. We announced it the same day BHP launched their ad, which I saw this morning on Sky. So we are thinking big. The initial thing at Fayetteville is we're focused on a supergene enriched zone there. We have a booking at the gold plant, Lakewood, custom milling plant east of Kalgoorlie for about December. We haven't got our permitting sorted yet, and we're still mine planning and all that sort of stuff. So just watch that one. And maybe I should just flick back. Obviously I'll come to Mandilla, but I'll just so I don't miss anything. The Mandilla discovery is highly significant drill intersections. 19th of September. We think we've confirmed potential there for bulk mineable resource with substantially increased tonnage contained gold. Mandilla East prospect is open for an additional 800 metres extension through to the northern end of the Paleo Channel. We have one drill there working flat out. We have another drill coming. I will describe in a moment. We have different types of mineralisation to chase up. We are funded to cover these drilling programs, and we'll see how things pan out. You see what happens when you make a discovery with a company, things start to go straight up. The whole idea is that we don't want to come straight down. So we have to keep finding ore. You can see the turnover in Anglo's lifted. The price was at 10 cents this morning. Greatly appreciate the support. Let me tell you, as a junior company, and a lot of my compatriots in West Perth, they don't like making announcements because they become a selling event. So why do you want to make an announcement? So I think we've driven through the sell down prognosis that happens when you create a bit of an uplift. And obviously with the likes of that Barry Dawes and others promoting gold, it's more fashionable today. So we thank Barry for his support. Anyway, that's the position today. I believe by the time I finish this presentation, you'll be pretty happy that we've got something. A very minimalist bunch of directors. Think big. I mean, how would you believe you can see the super pit? That's the Mullock dump of the Kalgoorlie super pit. Kalgoorlie's to this side of it. This is a swamp. Thanks to that Barry Fitzgerald out of Melbourne, Diggers and Dealers, a couple of years ago said, Jones is doing a Donald Trump, not a very fashionable name, but I'm fascinated by him. He's going to drain the swamp. I heard Trump the other night saying he's going to drain the swamp, but he said Barry thought I'd be draining the swamp of gold. So onwards with the drilling. Muddy, this swamp can flood a bit. We'll have to divert the water in the future. A little quick bit of geology here. Yeah, there's Kalgoorlie. I used to sit on the board of North Kalgoorlie Mines in the middle of the Golden Mile, and the super pit ends about here. And it was always regarded that the deeps would be straight down. 4,000 feet at the time was the Great Boulder Mines, and the likes of Anglo, GMK all did deep drill holes. My friends and Newmont partners of the super pit put a 3 kilometre hole down there just the other day. I said, what did you find? He said, oh, not much. So anyway, things happen. No secret, the Super Pit guys tried to take this project off Anglo. They won't mind me mentioning it. We won't discuss the terms of the deal that was proposed. So Anglo actually controls all the ground across here now. This map's a little bit dated. Carnelia Hill we won't talk about, it's gold rights only. Mincor have the nickel rights up here. And my little mates in Lefroy Gold have me surrounded. We have Mandilla down here, which is the 65 kilometres from Kalgoorlie, straight south. Interestingly, this is other million-ounce mined-out gold deposit. Ed Boltus, who heads up our effort, says that a lot of these gold discoveries are 35 kilometres apart. Well, would you believe exactly to the metre, our discovery down here is 35 kilometres from this discovery here. And I think it's called something, the ghost crab or something. And further south of me here are those Canadian fellows. There's an able Australian in there who's the managing director who is probably going to present. He says he's got paleo channels and we should talk. He's obviously got a 1.2 million tonne a year mill, 23 kilometres from this site. And over here at St Ives, 20 kilometres, there is a very hungry 6 million tonne a year plant. And you will note that Goldfields has a transaction with Gold Road. It's a similar style of mineralisation which we'll develop as we rush down the road. Think big, that's Fayetteville. You'll see the situation there. There's a massive shear zone running through. Still haven't done the deeps, but that's the rough geology. This is what the ore body looks like. It's 50 metres wide. Of interest, what I talked about what we're trying to mine. We're trying to mine this purple, the supergene zone. It's 80 metres wide, 240 metres long, 3 to 5 metres thick, something like that. Reasonably shallow, and just permitting, mine planning, etc., etc. Of interest here, you know, you dream about, well, where's the extensions to the Golden Mile? To be quite frank, our metallurgists, Metskill, we're getting 85%, we get 99% recoveries up here, 95.6 in the transitional zone. In the primary, we're only getting 85% or a bit less, but we've identified we've got tellurides. As an experienced Kalgoorlie gold miner, the Golden Mile is obviously the cross-cutting green lodes tellurides. There is a linkage here, but not sure what it means. A lot of, perish the thought what's going on a kilometre or 1.5 kilometres deeper here, and only time will resolve that situation. Mandilla Paleo Channel, 2006 we mined this, and 7 grams, open cut as you can see, oxide stuff. We made $11 million. If we mined it today at this and just added $3 million to the mining costs, we would make $30 million. What I must say right up front, one of our targets is we've identified further paleo channels. I've seen results up to 28 grams, which I think are known, and it's just a matter of wait and see what that means. I think this is easier for me looking this way. The next slide, but just to get you focused very quickly, this is Wattle Dam. You will have heard of Wattle Dam, which was Ramelius and moved on, made some money. The Paleo Channel, 23,000 ounces. The team in 2006 left this resource sitting there. We've discovered Mandilla South in recent months, and time will tell what else goes on. Moving on, this is a handy map. This is quite interesting. This is the yellow is the gold in soil anomaly, 50 ppb. You can see where the drilling is taking place. These anomalies are extensive. The system from there to the top there is approximately 4 kilometres. We are focused on 1 kilometre from here down to there. I call this safari drilling. I tell the guys, well, all this infill drilling is fine. You've got something to feed the pit modeller or the ore resource modeller in Kalgoorlie, Perth. Why don't we go for a safari and start drilling? No results to date, but we have announced results of 8 holes, which pop up in one of these next slides. So just so you get a feel, and you can see the paleo channel. We think it's in situ. There's some sort of a risk this might represent an ore body very close. And the gold and soil anomalies there, but there's something here. I mean, and we're going to fill this gap. This has got a bit more soil cover. So don't ask me how long it is, how big it is, because I don't, it's just kind of exciting days. This is more detailed stuff. Shows you the hole that's the recent results. The hole that stirred us all up, the market, was the diamond hole, thanks to the West Australian government. We got 3 holes. This was the best hit we got, and you can imagine that would blow anyone's socks off. So away it went, and we've immediately rushed out and planned. I think we're up to 7,000 metres of RC drilling, which is being executed as we speak. And I think we're up to about hole 36. We've announced 8 results from 8. So what happens in Western Australia is you send the gold price up, the laboratories fill up, and we get this delay business, but don't worry, won't stop us working. A bit of free gold in RC chips. And this was the best 4 of the 8 holes we announced. As you can see, quite exciting. Moving on quickly. You can see what these drill holes look like. You can see the width. There's a 50-metre scale. We describe this as the zone. It's got a subvertical. We're not sure of any plunges. You can see the scattered mineralisation around and about. This is pretty consistent, this feature. I don't think there's much else. There was obviously a lot of things that should have happened in 2006. There were 4-metre composite samples. They were never split. So we said, oh, to hell with all that stuff. Just drill through the whole previous calculation areas, 300-metre thing, and just do it again. So we're not taking any chances, and we're going to get it down pat. I think that's another section here. You know, these are pretty juicy sort of stuff. And where do we liken it to? I don't. There's talk that Wallaby has some similarities. I'd like to know what's going on at Red 5 up north of Leonora. Maybe there's something there. I think that's all we can do there. Moving on. People said you're drilling down dip. So, okay, we do scissor holes regularly. And you tell me, sorry, whiz back to that. You tell me on the focus. So here's a hole. And I think this is 45 metres, 4.25 grams on a scissor hole. So it doesn't matter which way we drill it from, it's still real. And it's still encouraging. And way down here you see 64 sort of metres here. So some interesting mining possibility scenarios here. Another 60 metres here going 3.79. So unbeknown to that fella Dawsey, who I'm fascinated with, we're long in gold in my opinion on this prospect. So we'll help his numbers when we get time. What are we doing in Mandilla in the future? This is just a bit of forward planning here. We're obviously interested in the northern extension. Could there be another ore body represented by this paleo channel? We know from St Ives that every time, the higher the paleo channel, the greater the probability that the mineralisation, primary mineralisation, is pretty close. So wait and see. You can see the signs here of parallel load systems. Could this be something? I'm a prospector by trade. I'm suspicious. If I get proved wrong, I'll apologise next time I do a presentation. But there's that gap. We want to fill this gap. This is more soil covered, so the geochem doesn't work. What else? There's one other sensitive thing about this gold mineralisation. The gold is occurring in a demagnetised part of what we used to call a granite. This was a granite. After we got the core, we rushed it to the labs, to the people, the rock specialists. It's not granite, it is a syenite, and it's a syenite, monzonite syenite, or syenite monzonite, I not being a geologist, but and it's demagnetised. So when we plan our drilling, we throw the mag over it, and my recommendation is, well, we'll get that guy Sakalides, who played a part in the discovery of, with his close space ground mag. It used to drive me nuts up at Fayetteville, but he did play a part in our discovery. So we will do I think if I can convince the geos, we might look at doing a close space 20 metre just to pick up that demag feature, because we're not sure we understand why the gold's here in the amounts that is there. Plenty of high-grade hits here, even down here. Well, what happens from there? No drilling. What happens from there? No drilling. We are drilling up here. I can't think straight. I've forgotten. But time will tell. We haven't got the assays, but I do talk as the acting MD. I talk to the geologist on site every day just to make sure everything that he needs he's got. So pretty exciting stuff. I think that's it. A minute over. I apologise profusely to that next presenter, wherever he is. But thank you very much. But you can imagine, on behalf of our shareholders, we're pretty warmed up on this, backed up, and I've got lots of other companies friends and companies that are carrying much higher market caps, but we're going to play catch up, particularly with my mate Sakalides at a 90 million market cap. Cheers. Thanks.